My name's Ruth Rodriguez, and I'm the Community Services Manager for Chispa. I've been at Chispa for going on 14 years now. Yeah, since 2003, I started as the Community Services Coordinator, and now I'm the Community Services Manager. But initially, I actually started as an intern from CSUMB in the summer of 2003. So it was my first internship, and it's been like my first real job, and I've enjoyed everything that I've done here, and I've learned a lot from them. And I really bought into Chispa's mission. I believe in it from the bottom of my heart. I believe it changes people's lives. I believe that they're an amazing organization that's here in the community to help people own their home and just have that dream become reality. It's amazing. As a matter of fact, one of the experiences that I really remember from starting at Chispa as an intern is that they said they were going to take us for a drive to go see their multifamily rental properties in Salinas. I knew nothing about Chispa, so the image that I had is affordable housing, and I had the stigma and the stereotype of affordable housing as being ghettos, what I would see on TV. So as we were driving down Sanborn in East Salinas, I kept on looking around. I'm like, oh, it must be this one right here. We kept on driving. Oh, it must be that one. Oh, it must be this one. I was trying to look for the worst, where I would see writings on the wall, no play area, dual dam places. And when we actually drove into what was Mountain View Townhomes, it was in 1580 Falcon Drive, I was completely impressed. The housing development was a lot nicer than where I was living at CSUMB. I was living in school housing. I was like, this is really nice. Nice curb appeal, green grasses, barbecue area, picnic area, beautiful community room, well decorated. It was amazing. I was like, wow, this is really nice. And I started noticing that people lived with integrity there, and that they really deserved to have great programs, and I fell in love with the mission and everything they were doing. And since then, I've been here, and I love what I do.
How does, just kind of bouncing off of that question, how do you feel being a person who was part of the community, went to CUSUMB, and now you're helping in a way, kind of change the community or the image of the community? How do you feel about that?
I'm completely passionate about the work that I do. At CSUMB, my major was human communications, and I had a minor in service learning. So I worked for the Service Learning Institute for 3 years before I left CSUMB. And service learning, for those of you guys that know about service learning, it's a lot about social justice, underprivileged communities, oppression. And so I was very well aware. I had worked with different organizations like the Boys and Girls Club, Dorothy's Kitchen, doing community service hours, what was back then Monterey County AIDS Project, and a few other nonprofits. So I was very familiar with the nonprofit world. And I realized right then and there when I was at CSUMB that I had a passion for the community and helping and working and making a difference. And I realized that that's where my life journey would be at. So when I started at Chispa, I didn't know much about it. I didn't even know it was a nonprofit, but I believed in the work that they do. And I started here, and they had 3 community partners. That's what we had, a little file with 3 community partners. And I thought, okay, and they have these great community rooms. And I thought, why aren't we offering more? We have a captive audience, we have youth, we have kids. We didn't have data on how many kids were living at the property. So I was able to start working and pulling out that data, applying for grants, and starting programs. And one of the first programs that we started from scratch was Hardin Foundation gave us a grant for a guitar class. And we started a guitar class at Roosevelt and a few other sites, a rondalla program. And we still have some of the students that started with that years ago, 13 years ago, now in our community teaching now. One of them, Karina Salcedo, that works with us, Felix Miranda, that started with us about 9-10 years ago. So it's been amazing to see some of these kids come back or stay in our communities or come back from wherever they're at and give back to the community. It makes me realize that the work that I'm doing and the work that we're all doing in our community is really worth the while, that you can really impact kids, impact families, and make a difference in our communities. And that's what it's about. The media focuses far too much on the negative things happening in our communities, but we need to start looking at the positive things that are happening, the differences that we're making. Those kids that are graduating with 4.0s, going to universities, going to UCs, and just doing some amazing work, and some of them coming right back to their community.
Nice. And then I'm just going to keep going about the programming. So is there any new programs or new classes that you're excited about this year?
One of the things that we do within our community services department is that we have goals, and we work on different things each year. So in the previous years, one of the things that we've really focused on, and we've been very fortunate to have Packard Foundation that has had a big impact in the work that we do through the Salinas Youth Initiative here in Salinas and working with the 93905 sites is we've learned that giving kids an experience outside of their immediate environment is tremendous. So not just coming and offering programs on site, not just having the guitar class come and offer a Monday through Friday program, or having the YMCA after school program, or having a soccer program coming, or the basketball program coming in. That's important. But more than percussion, more than everything that happens on site, when the kids experience something that they're able to leave their immediate environment that they've lived in, and maybe many of them haven't stepped out of Salinas, have never been to Big Sur, have never been to the beach, have never been to a San Francisco Giants game, have never been to the aquarium, have never been to other areas, even going somewhere like Carmel, that's their backyard, they just haven't been out there. Many of them hadn't even been to a swimming pool, so they didn't own a swimsuit. So being able to give the kids this experience, a field trip per se, to go and visit something outside of their immediate environment is tremendous, because it provides them with a feeling of wanting to grow, dream, learn. They see bigger horizons. So we've noticed that that was making a big impact on our kids. We thought, okay, well, you know what? We started with the Big Sur Land Trust, and they offered a 3-day camp in Big Sur. And we started noticing the kids were coming back and talking about this months later, like it had happened yesterday. Biggest experience. We were able to see, the kids were able to share some of the journals that they wrote while they were at camp. And they talked about this amazing experience. So we thought, you know what? We need to focus on this and do more of this. So part of the curriculum the following year, last year, 2016, was that every MOU and every community partner that worked with Chispa would provide a field trip opportunity for the kids. If it meant even getting the kids to the art walk to do a performance here, and having our percussion be out here on the first Friday of the month and have this performance, that was a big deal. It got the kids to be acknowledged by the community, to come out to perform, to have something that they're working towards. So every program that provided services for Chispa was required to provide a field trip per se, an outside experience for the kids, whether it was visiting Mark's Ranch, the Big Sur Land Trust, going to the Aquatic Center, coming downtown. And that started broadening the kids' horizons. So that was all last year. That was a big focus. Grow, learn through these experiences. So experience, grow, and learn. This year, 2017, one of our goals is to really start encouraging the A through G requirements and prepping our kids for college. We have, really smart kids. We had a couple years ago a student graduate from Roosevelt Townhomes, Felix Miranda's sister, with the 4.0. Went to UC San Diego, is doing amazing work out there, is about to graduate soon. So we're really proud of our kids. So one of the things Chispa started doing is we started endowing scholarships. In 2005, we endowed a scholarship at CSUMB. We've been giving that scholarship out to any Chispa resident that attends CSUMB. In 2010, we endowed a scholarship at Hartnell. We started giving a scholarship to any student that was living at Chispa and going to Hartnell. And just last year, we endowed a general scholarship with the Community Foundation for Monterey County for a student going to any university of their choice. So we're big on supporting education and encouraging our kids to continue their education. What else can we do to support their education besides provide scholarships? We want to make sure that we start young with them, that we give them the opportunities that they need, the programs, the tutoring, and that we're able to encourage them and educate the parents on the A through G requirements, so parents are aware of, I want my kid to go to college. It's not just graduate from high school and get to college. You really have a set of requirements that you have to meet. So this year we're working with different groups, one of them the Teen Leadership Council in Castroville, to bring A through G workshops at our different sites and educate our kids and our parents. So they're aware that that doesn't have to be the only choice, but it should be an opportunity and an option and something that's available and open for them.
Tell us about any teachers that are inspirational with the programs. Like any teachers that you see that have grown that you're really excited and happy about, and that you'd like to see more about in your own program.
Let's take a pause.
One of the things that we take pride in and that we started doing different here at Chispa is initially when we started partnering with our community partners to provide services to our Chispa residents, the criteria was that they had to be a nonprofit 501c3 to work with them. So we had great organizations we were working with like the Salinas YMCA, or actually the Central Coast YMCA, and the Boys and Girls Club, the Arts Council for Monterey County, all great organizations that are very promising and have great integrity in the community. But one of the things that we noticed that was important in our community too was when kids had somebody from the community that came back to teach them, somebody that could relate to them directly. And we noticed this out of one experience where there was a class that ended up being canceled because we didn't have an instructor, and somebody from the community came forth and said, can I teach the class as a volunteer? And one of the things that really captured me was that he had a great captive audience and a lot of boys. And to capture boys at a young age, between the ages of 9 and 13, 14, is really difficult because, kids get lured by so many things. And one of the things that we always keep in mind is that we're competing against drugs, crime, and gangs. So we're trying to give them something that they become passionate about early on. If a kid becomes passionate about whether it's a sport, it's a talent, anything like that, early on at the age of 7, 8, 9, they're likely to stick it through their teenage years and not get lured away into any other distraction or other negative things that are happening in our community. So at the time, Javier Tamayo, who works for the LSL Center for the Fine Arts, came in and he started doing a percussion class just as a volunteer. And he said one of the things that the kids had asked him is they said, hey, teacher, when are you leaving? And he looked at his clock and he said, I don't know, it's 6 o'clock, almost 6 o'clock. They said, no, like, when are you leaving? And he said he, was just volunteering. He was wondering, I wonder how does Chispa work with their program providers? They said, yeah, like, when are you done? And there's going to be somebody else that's going to come, or what's going to happen? And when he told me that, he said, wow, he goes, I was brokenhearted because I thought, what, these kids are used to already being let down, and to be able to say somebody comes in, they leave, we're done with you guys, and it's like, oh, next, and they're just kind of left behind. So I thought, no, we need to do something different. So what we did is now through any grant support, we're able to purchase materials, whether it's for drumming or the guitar class, that belong to the site. So it's not like if the guitar teacher leaves, the guitars are gone. The guitars stay at the site. So the kids feel ownership of the program. This is our program. This is our guitars. They belong to us here at Chispa. Also, the other thing was that they were able to have a role model that understood their community and where they were coming from, and somebody that looked like them and had gone to the same schools as they had and had experienced a lot of the challenges you experience in the community, like when you're getting off the bus and you're in a different neighborhood and people might pick on you or ask you to do something that you don't feel comfortable in, and you want to look for that safe place to come, that community room that hosts you after school, that you feel safe and comfortable and you get to be yourself. So at that point, we realized, well, you know what? We don't have to partner up with just nonprofits. We could partner up with individuals and do independent contracts with people that have worked in the community, that are passionate about working with kids and doing the work that they do. And some of our more successful programs have been those with independent contractors. A story I like to share is Felix Miranda, who lives at Roosevelt Townhomes. Felix has been a resident there for about 13 years, and he started as a student in our guitar class. Felix is now teaching the guitar class with 4 different classes, and he has the largest number of kids. When we have the art walk and Felix brings his kids, is the largest group we have out here. The kids really look up to him. They love the program. He has a connection with them, that they can connect directly with them. He lives at the housing where they are growing up in. And it really brings a large group of kids ranging between ages of 17 all the way to a young age of a 7-year-old, 6-year-old in the program. So wide range where he's able to group different classes for different groups based on ages. And we've noticed that he's been working with us for the past 4 years, and he's had a great impact at Roosevelt. It's really been one of our most amazing classes. Not to say he's the only one. We work with other independent contractors, but we've learned that they've become real role models in our communities.
Sorry,
I know. I know, and I'm like, really? We're talking about this, Salinas? Really? We got to hear that? Yeah, somebody in their voicemail had something like that. I don't remember if it was my boss, Alfred, or somebody had it, and they were like, really? Like, oh, hi, this is so-and-so, and it's like...
There's a police station close by, no?
Yeah, there is.
That was great, though.
Do you want to talk a little bit about, just a little bit about Karina?
Yes, okay.
Clarissa, Gustavo, maybe talk about how he's a student. That's
okay, yeah.
Just so like that, when we cut to them,
Okay.
we'll have you kind of leading.
Okay. So one of the things that we're noticing is Felix is phasing into the work that he's doing is that some of the kids that have started with him are now in high school and they're helping out with the class. They're being that next role model coming up. And I want to go back to something I said at the beginning. I shared the story of Javier and the kids asking him, when are you leaving? His answer to the kids was, I'm leaving when you're able to teach the class, then it's time for me to go. And I thought that was the best answer he could have ever said. I'm leaving when you're the next teacher up here. So make the kids feel really comfortable and gave them this pride of their program. So what we focus in now is we look for programs that, one, are requested by the community. The kids want these programs. They'll be there. It's something that they want. And then we look the criteria for community partners that they're really here to stay, that we're not just a check the box item that is like, oh, I need to serve 10 kids, I'm out, I'm done. 6 weeks, I'm done. And we're very careful with who we partner in the programs that they're bringing to our residents, and that they understand that, you know, our criteria is very specific. When you come in, you start a program. When the program's about to go into break because it's fall break or it's winter break, that we let the kids know and we do a closure activity. Many times it's a field trip, sometimes it's a little party in the classroom, and we say, hey, we're leaving, but we're coming back. We'll be back in 4 weeks, okay? So we'll see you back. And we give them that comfort where they know that, you know, somebody's gonna be there waiting for them. So that's real important. That goes across the board through all of our programs. Other independent contractors that we've worked with for several years that have made a huge impact at our sites has been Karina Salcedo. Karina Salcedo started with Rondalla years ago. She said that's where she learned to play the guitar. Grew up in East Salinas and now is teaching a guitar class. And she also does story time with kids. And you know, she has this great core group of kids and she's able to really relate to the kids and she's passionate about the work that she does. You know, she has a full-time job, but this is something that they do on the side. And although Chispa likes to be very conscious about how we take care of our independent contractors, we make sure that we have a contract in place and that we pay them reasonable rates that are, you know, the going rate for the work that they're doing. A lot of the work, you could tell they're doing it out of their heart. And it's something that they just want to do because they want to give back to the community. They want to share back with the community. And we really appreciate that. It's beautiful to be able to work with people that grow up in the community and feel passionate about the work that they do and want to give back and encourage kids and are able to provide that role model and say, yeah, I went to college too and I came back and now I'm working here and I love what I do. So that's been real amazing. We have another group of kids that we work with in Castroville. We work with the Teen Leadership Council, and we have their youth advisor, who's Yvette Padilla, who grew up in the community. And she said, at one point, I was a Chispa resident. They helped me get on my feet, and now, you know, she works at the school district, lives here in Salinas, and has a great group of teenagers that are working and giving back to the community. They come back and they help teach the after-school programs, tutor, and you know, go off to college. One of them went off to Fresno State, graduated, is now working at Peacock Acres and is another mentor to the program. So they're coming back. We like to see that because they understand the community and they take pride in the work that they do, and that's very important. We've also worked with the Alisal Percussion, who has an amazing program, a drumming program. And we've been able to create a really nice partnership with them in the Big Sur Land Trust, where every summer we have an opening for camps, for 3-day camps for kids through the Big Sur Land Trust. And we're able to send a group of 30 boys, 30 girls, several camps out to the Big Sur Land Trust. And they have their own little percussion session out there. Many of the kids have never camped out before. They're able to go for their first camping experience with everything provided to them. State-of-the-art chef out there, and they have this beautiful experience at Glen Devon. It's an amazing place to go, and it really opens up a bigger world to them, and that's important. And when you see the kids come back with a different vision and this wonderful experience and wanting to get back to the community, it really makes a huge difference. And that's when you realize that the impact we're doing in the community is definitely worth the while, and it's worth our time, and it's important, and more people need to be doing it.
Where do you see Chispa's programming in the next 3 or 4 years?
Well, we've really come a long ways. We have a full program brochure. Our programs operate 3 times a year. We have winter spring programs that run for 20 weeks. Then we have summer programs that run anywhere between 8 to 12 weeks. Then we have our fall programs that run for 14 weeks. We provide program brochures for each of the programs, thanks to our funders, and we're able to have a schedule of programs that we have available at all of our sites, all 21 Chispa sites, including our 5 senior sites are included in the program brochure. So that's been something new that we just adopted probably in the last 3 or 4 years. Moving forward with that, we want to continue doing the programs and continuing the work that we're doing in the community, but in a different level. We're not looking so much at the quantity of programs we're providing or quantity of kids that we're serving, but much more at the quality. So we're looking at the experiences that the kids are having, providing them this outside experience, which now is part of every contract where every kid gets this field trip. We're looking now at offering education to the kids where there's a literacy component where if, let's say it's an art class, let's talk about an artist. Let's give them some education on an artist that existed that maybe they could relate to. If we're talking about music, let's give them some literacy part of it with a musician that they might be able to relate to. So they're also learning. So it's not just learning to play the guitar and just having a good time there, but also some learning involved. So that's important. But more than that, moving forward with this, what we want to do is really grasp our parents so they're a part of the education and growing of the kids. That's real important. And one of the things that we've seen, and I am proof of looking at that and the difference that it makes is when parents are involved, it makes a big difference in a child's life. One example I could give is the art walk. When the kids are at the art walk and they're performing and they're able to see mom and dad with their phone there, and not just mom and dad, you're talking about the community, the mayor being out here and people just going out there clapping, looking at them. They feel confident. It builds it boosts their self-esteem. It makes them feel, it builds their confidence too. And it makes them feel important in their community because people are out there looking for them. So they're working hard towards something, and to see mom and dad there with brothers and sisters and taking videos, it's important to them. It makes them feel valued, which they are, and they should know that they're very important in our community and that they are our future for tomorrow. So it's important that we make them feel this way, and it's our responsibility as adults and community members to let our kids know that they are important and that we're rooting for them to do good and to go on to college and make their dream come true. And if it's not college, whatever vocation they're looking for, that we're able to encourage that and we're able to somehow feed it and nourish it. That's our job in the community. So doing that work and looking at where Chispa is going in the next few years is really involving the parents, involving community, and letting them know the work that we're doing, we're standing behind what we say we're doing. We're endowing scholarships. Like I said, we have local scholarships at CSUMB, Hartnell, General Scholarship. We're growing these scholarships every year through our annual celebration. So we do an annual fundraiser, and the funds that come out of that, part of the funds go into these scholarships to continue growing the scholarships. Then we're adapting a database of alumni. So we want to keep in touch with these alumni that are getting these Chispa scholarships so they could come back to our community and tell the kids why it's important that they do good in school and that, we're there to support them. They could get the scholarship, go and do whatever they want and come back to their community or go wherever their dreams take them. We want to be able to encourage that. As Alfred, our president and CEO, once said to me, he said, our business is to be out of business. We want these kids to move out of Chispa housing and eventually be able to buy their own homes and encourage them to not feel that they have to be in the program or be sustainable this way, but do other things that will grow them as individuals and give them the future that they want, that they feel that they have every opportunity just like everybody else. I was in a meeting once where somebody said, we were talking about programs that everybody's offering, and somebody said, oh wait, we have to be careful because, the kids are double dipping. If they're part of your basketball program and they're part of my after school program, then we got to be careful because there's this group of kids. And I'm like, no, we want the kids to double and triple dip. We could have a kid do Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays guitar, Tuesday, Thursday, art class or soccer. The more the merrier, the more we could provide for them, the better for them. The more opportunities we could give them, the more well-rounded individual we're providing for our community. So we want to provide more opportunities. And it might be that the kids all have different interests, and that's okay, because eventually there's going to be one that they grow more passionate about, whether it's guitar, whether it's a sport, whether it's on art, whatever it is, they're going to grow passionate into something, and that's going to make a difference in their lives. This work wouldn't be made possible if it wasn't through our funders. So I'm very thankful to everybody in every foundation that has funded and donated to Chispa, because every penny, the return in it is amazing when you're able to see these kids experience what they experience, whether it's a field trip or just, feeling proud of being able to play their first song in their guitar class. I want to say thank you to all of our instructors, independent contractors, organizations that we work with and that we've ever worked with, because the impact that they've made in every single child has gone a long, long ways. We're creating a cycle of teachers, of artists, of musicians, of, I had somebody that just fell in love with the outdoors camps at Big Sur Land Trust and now wants to go into environmental scientist. So thank you to everybody who's provided any type of experience to Chispa. The return of it has just been amazing. It's really beautiful when we have the kids go through the stages of going through our classes and eventually graduating and going off to college, and then coming back to our community and being the next teacher, or coming back and working for the next foundation. And, our job is never done because we have growing kids, we have new families coming in, we have a new child, we have somebody else that needs this program. And regardless of whatever funding is available, one of the things that is asked many times in grants or foundations ask is, what are you going to do if we don't give you what you're asking for? We're going to keep going. We're going to offer this program no matter what. The guitar class is not going to stop. We're going to figure it out. If it means that we ask for individual donations, if it means that we have to do whatever we have to do, we will do it to keep these programs going. The programs will not stop.
Nice. I think it's good, doctor. That's good.
Yeah. I think we're good, no?
Yeah.
Any ideas or? So then we can just
Give me a one-liner. Give me a one-liner for Felix. Give me a one-liner for Karina.
one for Gustavo.
And one for Gustavo.
Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't say one for
Just a
Gustavo.
one-liner.
One of the most interesting things is working with the community and working with locals and working with our local artists, musicians, is that they're so down to earth and they're so passionate about the work that they do that they're willing to do it out of their heart. Felix, when his guitar instructor left, he said, "Can I come back and teach the guitar?" And I said, "Yeah." And I said, "Come on in so we could do a contract." And he was wondering, a contract for what? He goes, "Oh, no, I just want to do this as a volunteer." But I wanted to make sure that they understood that we value the work that they're doing. The work that they're doing in our community is very important. They're changing people's lives every day. They're role models in our community. And they're raising the next Felix and the next set of kids that are going to come back and teach in the community and do it with the same passion they do it. So we're very thankful for the work that they do. And we appreciate them, and we want them to know that they are valuable in our community.
Nice.
Okay. Gustavo and Karina.
I met Gustavo when he was young. He was probably 9 years old, and I've seen him grow up into this nice young man, and I see the hopes and dreams for his future coming into a reality as he is just going back to his community, going back to his school, joining the kinesiology program at Salinas High School that's guiding him on his way to go into a four-year university. And I'm just really proud of the work that they're doing and how passionate they feel about coming back to their community no matter what. He said, "I'm doing football, I'm doing this other program." He goes, "But I'm still coming back to the guitar class to help and teach and work with the other kids." And I see how he piggybacks with Felix to work with the younger kids and just really get him enthusiastic about the programs and excited. And he's at the art walks helping out. And it's just really amazing to see that it comes naturally. They're busy, but they're passionate about something that they believe that something or somebody did something for them in their community, and they feel like, well, I'm going to do it for somebody else too. And that's the cycle that we want to keep going. We want more Gus's. We want more people giving back and letting the kids know that we care. We all care, and that's why we're here for each other, because as a community, we care for each other. There's a saying that says it takes a village to raise a child. It really does take a village to raise a child.
Nice, that was good. And one for Karina, and I think we're done.
When I first met Karina, I met her because she was playing the guitar someplace, and I thought like, oh wow, she plays it really nice, and she shared with me her story about rondalla and where she was working at the time. And it was interesting because she left her market job that probably paid her more than she was getting paid in the nonprofit world, because she said, I didn't feel like I was complete. I wanted something where I was getting back to my community. I was working with my community, and I love what I'm doing now. I'm not going to mention the marketing company, but regardless, I know she's happy where she's at right now, and I see the work that she does with the kids, and I see the passion that she works with the children, and she just, has this excitement, this energy that's just contagious. If you see her teaching this class, it's just contagious, the way she gets them excited, and, even hearing the sound of the guitar kind of gets this momentum going. And I think that's what's made her class very popular. And even thinking back to the literacy component, because she does 2 different classes, and looking at the Read to Me project that she does with the kids on Saturday mornings. And when she brings out the guitar and there's music, it just kind of brings a different upbeat to it. Music makes the world go round for people. It really brings a smile to people. So that's really nice to be able to see that happen to the kids, despite of what's going on at home, despite what's going on at school, despite what's going on everywhere else. They come to a classroom where they feel safe, where they feel valued, where they're wanted, and where they're taken care of, and there's this great energy flowing. So if we're able to provide that for the kids 1 hour, a few times a week, it's well worth it.
Nice. I think we're good. All right.
Just can you clap real quick?